Welcome to biology class. Today we can discuss another very necessary concept, that is structure of nephron. A nephron is a basic unit of kidney, is also defined as it is a structural and functional unit of kidney. What it means? It means already we know that our kidney is mainly made up of nephron. Because this group of nephron, kidney has particular structure, and that structure of kidney was under the control of neurons. That's why it is a structural unit. And whatever the function of kidney, it may be absorption, secretion, osmoregulation, diffusion, all kind of activities is also done by nephrons. Because of these two concepts, and nephrons are basic unit of kidney or structural and functional unit of kidney. In case of human beings, each kidney consists of 1 to 1.5 million of nephrons. But in NCERT textbook, he has given only 1 million. In some other source, he has given 1.5 million. It is better to go on through NCERT textbook. Next, and this nephron, this is the structure of nephron, mainly consists of some parts. One is Malpighian capsules, proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting duct. And what are the parts of nephrons? We can go through the diagram. And this bow-like structure, that is known as Malpighian capsule, is also known as Malpighian body. Next one is, next to Bowman capsule, you will get coiled portion, and this is known as proximal convoluted tubule. After the proximal convoluted tubule, you will get U-shape or hairpin-like structure, that is known as Henle loop. Next to Henle loops, there is another portion which is less coiled, that is distal convoluted tubule. Various distal convoluted tubules are connected to common duct, and this is collecting duct. And these are various parts of nephron. Now we can discuss one by one in detail. First one, Malpighian capsule. Malpighian capsule is also known as Malpighian body. And this Malpighian body consists of glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. Here what you mean by Bowman capsule means it is a cup-shaped structure. It helps in filtration of blood, and this was discovered by William Bowman. That's why they have given Bowman capsule. Next one is glomerulus. What it means? Here our nephrons receive the blood vessel. Those are afferent arteries. These afferent arterioles enters into Bowman capsule to produce a group of blood vessels. That is known as tuft of blood vessels are found in Bowman capsule, that is known as glomerulus. This glomerulus is necessary for filtration of the blood. And next to glomerulus, next one is Bowman capsule. This Bowman capsule generally made up of two layers. Outer, if you take it is outer, that outer layer is known as parietal layer, and inner layer is known as visceral layer. Parietal layer made up of squamous epithelial tissues. Inner layer made up of podocytes. This is very important characteristic of Bowman capsule. These are podocytes. Like this, number of podocytes, they will intercreate with each other. They integrated with each other to produce us small pores. For example, you can take, these are the some podocytes means like this we'll get small pores, and these pores are nothing but slit pores, helps in filtration of the blood. That's why these are also called as filtration slits. And next one is glomerulus. And this glomerulus mainly arised from the afferent arterioles, enters into the Bowman capsule, divided into minute blood vessels, that is known as glomerulus. These glomerulus emerged out through another small narrow blood vessel, that is known as efferent arterioles. And this Bowman capsule leads to further highly coiled structure, that is known as proximal convoluted tubule. This proximal convoluted tubule represented as PCT, and this PCT measure about 15 millimeter. The significant characteristic of this proximal convoluted tubules are these are made up of brush border epithelial cells. If you take this transverse section and observe under the microscope, you will get like this minute brush border epithelial cells are present. And these brush border epithelial cells helps in increases the surface area. Automatically, when surface area get increased, it is also responsible for more absorption. That's why in how these cells are found means like this. These are not cilium. These are micro or brush border epithelial cells, and this brush border epithelial cells, they will increase surface area. As a result, helps in more absorption. As per the kidney, most of all 95 to 98 percentage of all absorption mainly takes place in PCT because of this property. Next, this PCT converted into U-shaped or hairpin-like structure, that is known as loop of Henle or Hen's loop. This Hen's loop differentiated as ascending Hen's loop, and another one is descending Hen's loop. What it means? Here the Hen loop which is moving downward, that is known as descending Hen's loop, and this descending Hen's loop mainly made up of cuboidal epithelial cells. They are also having small microvilli, few microvilli. They also helps in absorption as well as secretion. Next one is this descending Hen's loop run upward direction towards cortex, that is known as ascending Hen's loop, and this is ascending Hen's loop. This ascending Hen's loop is also made up of same cuboidal epithelial cells. This Hen's loop further leads to another part, that is distal convoluted tubule. This distal convoluted tubule written as DCT. We can take here, this is DCT, and this portion also same. The major difference between the distal convoluted tubule and proximal convoluted tubule is length and coiling portion, and DCT is less coiled, the measuring about only 5 millimeter, and this also made up of cuboidal epithelial cells with microvilli, and this tube only made for tubular secretion. It is also absorbs, but the main function of this tubular distal convoluted tubule is tubular secretions, and this distal convoluted tubule connected to another tube or another duct, that is known as collecting duct, that is represented as CD. And this collecting duct, it is not a part of nephron. You must remember this point because they asked this kind of questions for competitive examinations. And the majority portions of distal convoluted tubule is mainly located in medulla region. And next, this is also made up of same columnar epithelial tissues. You have noticed in DCT, PCT as well as Hen's loop, generally they are made up of cuboidal epithelial cells. But in case of collecting duct, these are made up of columnar epithelial cells. This is the one major difference between these two tubes. And next one is, and this efferent arterioles. These efferent arterioles again divides it into some branches, and those branches are known as peritubular capillaries. You can see here, this is the efferent arterioles, and these efferent arterioles divided into branches, and these branches are known as peritubular capillaries. And these peritubular capillaries, mainly they can receive RBC cells, WBC cells, some of the protein which are not filtered by the glomerulus. And this is also actively participating in secretion as well as absorption. And this peritubular capillaries, they can surround the nephrons and run parallel to the Hen's loop. And these are structures we have noticed which are completely coiled Hen's loop, and this U-shaped structure is known as vasa recta. And this vasa recta is necessary for absorption of certain essential substance. It may be electrolytes, it may be water, and certain kind of things purely absorbed and secreted by the vasa recta. And this is the structure of nephrons. And next one is types of nephrons. And actually they have divided into two types of nephrons. Those are cortical nephrons and juxtamedullary nephrons. And this cortical juxtamedullary they have made based on the presence of different parts of the nephron. That means if major portion of the nephron is located in cortex, those are known as cortical nephrons. If major portions of the nephron is located in the medulla, that is known as medullary nephrons. Here this is the structure of kidney. This kidney is differentiated outer cortex and inner medulla. Here they have drawn two important nephrons, and this is cortical nephrons because the major portions of the nephron is Bowman capsule, glomerulus, PCT, DCT, and some part of Hen's loop. Major portion is located in the cortex. Those are cortical nephrons, and these nephrons are about 85% of in human kidneys, and these are responsible for releasing of dilute urine, and our urine become diluted because we have more cortical nephrons than the medullary nephrons. And these nephrons, mainly the glomerulus is mainly located in the cortex. And how it is present means, here this is the cortex. This cortex if you make into two parts, outer part and inner part, and the cortical nephrons glomeruli is mainly located in outer cortex. And these cortical nephrons, they having shorter Hen's loop, and concentration of urine is also depending upon the length of Hen's loop. In a cortical it is very short, that's why they can produce dilute urine. And another significant characteristic is cortical nephrons does not having vasa recta. This is the most significant characteristic for cortical nephrons. And some other types are juxtamedullary nephrons. And these juxtamedullary nephrons, and this nephrons is about only 15% in human kidney, but these nephrons are necessary for to produce us concentrated urine. And you might be noticed camel produces very concentrated urine because they having more juxtamedullary nephrons than the cortical. This is the one adaptations we have found in xeric animals. Next one is, and this juxtamedullary nephrons, it has the glomeruli, and this glomeruli located inner cortex, located inner cortex. In this nephron, Hen's loop is also very long. Because of this Hen's loop, the animal produces very concentrated urine and is also surrounded by peritubular capillaries, that is known as vasa recta. The major difference of these cortical nephron is presence and absence of vasa recta in cortical and juxta respectively. And these are types of nephrons are clearly found in human beings.